do you live a regular normal life when you're not in the spotlight?
Yeah, I'm super not a spotlight guy, you know, so I'm just normal as I can get, yeah.
Now, you've also been a commentator, correct?
I commentated for Brave FC.
In Brazil, right?
And well, it was in Brazil, but and also in Bahrain. So yeah, a couple of
spots. In Bahrain, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you want to do more commentating, or what's your plans in the future for that?
I honestly don't know. You know, I do like doing it. Maybe the analyst work. Commentating is very tough. You got to really, you got to put a lot of time in, a lot of work in, especially at the UFC level. But even the local level, it's tough. A lot of 13 fights you got to get down. My thing is just, do I have to travel and be away from my family that much? I don't know if I want to do that. That's the only thing that would stop me.
So again, a lot of people from other professional sports, especially like the NFL and hockey or baseball or basketball, when they retire, especially somebody who has as much accreditation as you do, it's like like Tom Brady going to Fox Sports. You know what I mean? A lot of people that love you and are fans of you would love to see you obviously on there. But that's a great point, though. There is a lot of traveling. You know what I mean?
There's no season. There's no season like there's seasons in NBA and this, you can do that. But in our sport, there's no season. And my kids are about to get in high school. They're playing sports. I don't want to miss too much of that stuff. So if I could find a way to maybe be a once a month guy or something like that, I could see myself doing something like that.
What about the whole Hall of Fame aspect of things? How crazy is that? All the stuff that UFC is doing now for like the 30 years, how, they're honoring all these fighters, and you're part of that, correct?
No.
You're gonna be, though.
I don't know. We'll see.
Come on, bro. There's no
see.
Fucking way.
I mean, I've been told that it's gonna happen. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll happen this year, next year, what. But yeah, just look at who's in there and your peers. I mean, yeah, those are guys that will be remembered forever. So to be amongst those people is, it's amazing. It's amazing. It really is. I don't think I should have been this successful. You know what I mean? And I call myself the undersized overachiever. You know what I mean? I fought 55 because that was the lightest weight class. I had no option to fight any other one.
What is more special to you? They're both special. What's more special to you? Having your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt or being a UFC champion?
I feel like, I'll probably do Jiu-Jitsu forever. You can't be a fighter forever, So maybe that's Jiu-Jitsu.
You know what Kayla said? The thing is that you will always be, for the rest of your life, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, unless you get your coral belt or your red belt. Right. You follow me?
Right.
Being in the UFC or Bellator or PFL or what have you, former champion is prestigious, but you will always be currently a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. You know what I mean? So for her, and from the other people.
There you go. I like that. It makes sense. Yeah.
What are you the most proud of outside of the UFC and being a professional fighter? Like Frankie, the person, the husband, the dad. What are some of the things that bring you immense joy that you're proud of?
Yeah, just being around my kids, my family. I have 3 kids. They do sports. They're all crazy, like their old man, and we're a close-knit group. And when you first get into fighting, I wasn't married. I was dating my wife, but I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids. I was fighting literally for myself. I wanted to do it. Nobody else wanted me to do it. They don't, my parents were like, you graduated college. My wife's like, what do you just start throwing wrestling? So I did it for myself. But then when you have kids, you realize you gotta, fighting still has to be for yourself, always. If you're not fighting for yourself, you're in the wrong spot. Having kids gives you purpose. Like now I have purpose. I'm not just fighting for myself. I mean, why I'm really doing this for myself, but in the morning, it's like, all right, you can't always be motivated. That's just impossible. No one's always motivated, but you could be disciplined, right? You could be disciplined, so having that purpose makes you disciplined.
How much joy do you get training with your kids? Being able to teach them what you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm like, it's like old kung fu movies, you know what I mean? You're passing it down to your kids, you know what I mean? That's what it is. And I'm teaching my kids something that's timeless, that you could teach your kids. It's like I seen a meme. It was like, when you teach your son, you're teaching your son's son. You know what I mean? And that's just like this lineage that I get to say I'm part of. Being under the Gracie lineage. Well, my kid's gonna be under that lineage too. Yes. So that's just awesome.
All right, so this is a question that Andre Petrosky from the UFC asked me to ask you. All right, Frank, you have an incredible career. You know what I mean? Just amazing. But at your experience level, now that you're retired, if you had the ability to go back at the very, very, very beginning, before your first UFC fight, what would you do differently? What would you coach yourself with all the shit you know now and all the resources you have now? How would you have coached yourself? Please walk me through the very beginning. What would you have done differently? What would you have maximized on? What would you have said hell no to and passed on?
I don't know if I don't know if I would have done anything differently.
I love that. Really?
Yeah, I mean, shit turned out all right to me. You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess I would say I would have found Ricardo sooner. You know, up into my third fight in the UFC. I was kind of a freelance guy, you know. I trained at Rhino Fight Team was the fight team. It was just a local team here. That's how I found it. I actually found it. Kurt Pellegrino. I went to go train with him, and I show up at his school because we know each other from wrestling and whatnot. And he's like, I'm leaving for Florida next week. He's like, but you can stay for the week. I stayed there. The guy that came in took the gym over, so I just stayed. And I got to the UFC that way. But I had no real, like I said, formal training. I used to go to Balance Studios. That was probably the most formal jiu-jitsu training I get. But again, that was in Philly. It was pretty far. So I think joining Ricardo earlier probably could have helped maybe push me a little bit in a different direction.
And then what you said about the manager, you would have probably had a better...
Yeah, that as well, yes. I would have, you know, the guy that manages me is Ali Abdelaziz, and I was pretty much his first guy, so I couldn't have found him sooner, I guess, you know what I mean? But
he's pretty famous in the as
he's
manager.
Probably, you know, one of the biggest stables in MMA. Yeah, I do think, you know, finding solid management, or, you know, maybe not even having a manager until I found Ali, it might have been a little better.
If there's anything you want to leave the audience with about you, your legacy, your future, this is your time to just freestyle whatever you want to go over.
No, you know, I just think my journey in this whole life of mine, you know what I mean? It's I got to live a dream. I really did. You know, I grew up watching Rocky movies and Kickboxer and Bloodsport, and I mean, I live this stuff. I love this stuff, you know. So like, I got to live a Rocky movie, you know what I mean? And kind of in that fashion too, you know. Took some lumps, you know, but I got up and finished it out. So yeah, I'm glad I got to, you know, the people you meet in this journey too, like, you know, the people we got to speak about tonight. Like, if I didn't choose this path, I wouldn't have met any of these people. And these people all are, you know, in my wedding, some of my best friends. So yeah, you know, the championships, that's all cool, but it's the journey that makes it all the most special.
This is Frankie, and how far he walks in front of everybody. For some odd reason, this kid is always in a race, and I don't know who he's racing, but he's always walking 100 miles an hour.
I love everybody. You guys make this awesome.
Frankie, Edgar, ladies and gentlemen.